Hello everyone and welcome to today's cryptocurrencies update for Wednesday, June 8th. Is Cardano leading the way? It sure is doing better than most other cryptocurrencies we're tracking. So let's have a look at the short-term trend and long-term charts. Before I do that, I'm going to share in every slide deck that I sent the 21 trading rules by Jesse Livermore. Jesse Livermore is a very famous trader who has been very successful. And I would really take all of his advice to heart. When he was trading, there were no cryptocurrencies, but everything that applies to stocks, the stock market, applies to the cryptocurrencies. Okay? For example, markets are never wrong. Opinions often are. It applies to cryptocurrencies, of course. Never average losses, never average down. Okay? Wishful thinking must be banished. Big movements take time to develop. I always keep saying this consistently. All right, small time frames, small profits. Big time frames, big profits. Okay. Please read these and please print them out, hanging above your bed. They'll make you a much better trader and investor than not. So with that, let's go straight to the charts. And I'm going to start with Cardano, because Cardano is leading the way. Looking at the traffic light, haven't shared this one in a while. Again, this one determines if you are in a strong uptrend or in a strong downtrend. And if you are then in a dip within a strong uptrend, which is a buy situation, or if you are in a rally of a strong downtrend, which is a selling situation. Right? Two different types of setups. Cardano is now back above the 10-day, the 20-day simple moving average, and it is attacking the 50-day moving average. The 50-day is at 66 cents. It's currently at 65, which is right inside here with the cloud and all that good stuff. So here we have a little box. This is the box that Cardano has been stuck in for a month. Now it's trying to break out. Based on simple symmetry, it will target on this breakout 75 to 80 cents, which gets us back above the 50-day and probably above the cloud. That's the first target I'm going to look at. I have too little information to determine if we're in an impulse. If I see 5 waves up, we're not even there yet, then good things are most likely going to happen. Because after 5 moves up, expect 3 moves lower and another 5 moves higher for a simple zigzag. Not there just yet. All right, looking at the monthly chart, you can clearly see here's Cardano's data since 2017. It flushed below the 200-day or 200-month moving average and is now back above it. So that probably ran a lot of stops. Now the question is, has Supercycle 2 completed or only A of Supercycle 2? Don't know yet, but we're starting to see some nice positive divergence on the MACD histogram, the actual MACD, and money flow. You can see how Cardano has been moving lower, but money flow is making higher lows. So this is positive. But again, we need, of course, to see a lot more from the short term to the long term to determine that a new rally that would bring us certainly almost to $10 for Cardano is underway. Plenty of time left, okay? If you miss here from 40 cents to $1 to determine that we're going to $10, it's great to forgo it. That is, of course, now resistance at $1. So first things first, let's see if we can get 5 waves higher and not 3. Moving on to Avalanche. Avalanche is right here at support. Support was established last year. That was established 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, whatever number it is, and we're right at it. Clearly, if we break below it, we're gonna move into the next support zone, which I've had on the chart, which now feels like forever, anywhere between $5 and $10. All right, the orange lines show simple symmetry, right? We go from the top to the bottom, and then if you break down, you go simply from what the bottom is then the top to the next bottom, which is right here at CSA, which is right in the ideal support zone, somewhere between $5 and $10. Make it 7, make it 8 to be determined. If we break above resistance between 35 and 45, pretty much, at any time, the downtrend is over because then we're starting to make higher highs, okay? Super simple if-then scenarios. Below here, which is the lows here, support, it's about 22-ish. Below it, we go to 7. If we break above things, we're gonna go to new all-time highs because then the correction is over. Super simple. But remember, the trend is still not friendly. It is 100% to the downside. Also here, we are right at the cusp of breaking down to the next symmetry target. For now, the technical indicators are all pointing up, so that is good. We have positive divergence, but that is a condition and not a signal. What it can do is that we might see a flush lower, set up more positive divergence, all those good things. But for now, this is good, but I have no confirmation whatsoever. At a minimum, I need to see price back above 30. At a minimum, back above 30 for Avalanche. The trend is fully bearish. Binance coin still stuck between a rock and a hard place. We're at the bullish cutoff level here at about 285-ish. We flushed below it yesterday. We're holding support today, 283.4. That is on a closing basis. So this is a daily chart, so it needs to be on a closing basis. Intraday stabs don't count in my book, okay? So it doesn't look too great. Looks like we're moving towards the sell signal. So we can still get this last fifth wave. Then we had wave 4, and we're now in wave 5 of C of 4. Also here, I think things are slowly moving towards a quite significant low. Alternatively, the bearish cutoff is at 340, remains the same, get above it, and then I think we have a nice new uptrend for primary 5 in place. Until then, it's a sideways mess, not much to do with it. Bitcoin, where are we with Bitcoin? Yesterday ran fantastic stops. What a day that was. It ramped lower, ramped equally hard back up, and now we're down again. As you can see, it held yesterday right here at the red level that I pointed out before. That was here, here, etc. I said each red level represents bullish cutoff levels. The lower Bitcoin goes, the more likely wave 5 or C of 4 is still underway. It's holding so far, so it's still between a rock and a hard place. We go below it, we get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup into 23,000. Okay, very simple. If we go back above 35,000, then we've had some sort of wicked complex wave 2. As I said on Monday, second waves or any correction can always become more complex. Just as impulses can, of course, subdivide, corrections can always become more complex. If you have 3 waves lower, A, B, C, you have to expect at the minimum 3 waves back up. Why? Because those 3 waves lower, a zigzag can mean that the correction is completed, or it will turn and morph itself into a large flat. 3 down, 3 up, 5 down. You don't know, okay? The only thing we know in corrections is that second waves cannot be triangles. That's all we know. The rest, be my guest, we have to wait and see. So that's why we label things A, B, C, 1, 2, 3 until 4 and 5 are confirmed. Can still be a complex wave 2, don't know yet. This is a sit on your hands type environment. We need to break above 32,500. We haven't done that just yet. When we do so, we get 3, 4, and 5. Easy peasy, right? Still the same, nothing has changed over the last 2 days. Nothing at all, just the machinations of price action, a lot of whipsaws. Fine, one will get stopped out. Unfortunately, my trading system went long here on Monday, and it got stopped out already the next day. But it only went long a quarter of a normal position. A normal position, according to my trading system, should only set you back around, let's say, 2.5%. So to a quarter of it, it's a paper cut. And that is how we define risk. Why? Because, of course, the trend is severely down on all these time frames. So you want to take appropriate risk, but you also want to make sure that if there is a signal, you don't want to miss it, right? You want to make someone, and then if you get stopped out, it's fine. Losses are part of the game, but keep them small. Ethereum is still holding 1700, but again, if we break below 1700, 1500 is next. Very simple. Alternatively, we need to break above 2000. Yes, 2000. If we get above 2000, then we move higher. Next is Maytech or Polygon. Looks still better as a 3, 4, 5, 4, and 5 yet to come. We need to start breaking higher, all those good things before I will say the low is in place. This means above 70 cents. Okay, resistance is at 70 cents. We need to break above it always. If we get back above resistance, then we have, of course, a higher high in place, resistance. Okay, so above resistance, there can target higher prices, and we need to break, just like every other cryptocurrencies, above the downtrend lines here to suggest that we have completed this downtrend. Okay, so once we do that, then we have much further indication that we have bottomed. I don't have that indication at all. In fact, it still looks like we should complete a few more smaller waves lower for Polygon. Until then, let's move on to Solana. Solana needs to break above $60, as I've pointed out before. That is the bearish cutoff, because then we are starting to make a higher high. Unfortunately, it is just making lower lows and lower highs over the last month. The ideal downside target zone is still anywhere between 25 and 15. Okay, that is in this ideal support zone. This is Fibonacci based target zone. Trend is firmly lower. Yes, we're starting to see positive divergences. All those good things are happening, but I have no response yet on price. So this is good, and we need to see now response to price. It is way too early in the game yet to say the low is in place. I don't see it yet. I need to see higher highs. Again, $60 is the bearish cutoff, maybe 50, but I prefer it a little better. And as usual, above the downtrend line means the downtrend since the all-time high is over, and then there is plenty of opportunity left to target into the 300s for Solana. Okay, so that's really there where we are right now. Okay, so again, Cardano is leading the pack. It needs to get above the 50-day moving average, and then we can target 75 to 80 cents. I still need more price data to know if we are going to see an impulse higher to suggest that we have completed a major bottom. Avalanche can still move lower into the ideal CSA target zone between 10 and $5. We need to start breaking above resistance levels, but the trend is lower, like many other cryptocurrencies. Avalanche is, or Binance coin is still stuck between bullish and bearish cutoff levels. I'd really like to see a last fifth wave lower. Would make my life so much easier. Then I really am confident that we've had a completed 5-wave C wave. Bitcoin also stuck between a rock and a hard place. The levels are on the charts to watch. If we see breakdowns here below 29.5, which held yesterday, then we're going to move to 23,000 around there. We break above 32.5, we can start looking for impulse pattern. Same for Ethereum, below 1700 targets 1500. Very simple. And above 2000, we start to think about the low is in place. Polygon, I prefer a few more stabs lower, maybe something like a 4 and a 5 should do it. Solana as well can target around $25 to $15 would be ideal. Support here is at around 20-ish. And then off to the races, above 60 and above the downtrend lines, as I said, for all other cryptocurrencies, and the downtrend is completed. All right, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being a valued premium member. We'll just have to sit and wait, see how these things develop. We have our cutoff levels, then we know the downside targets. We have our cutoff levels and we know our upside targets. Super easy. Until then, see you all on Friday. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your day. Bye.